All right, no shocker. We're here with Richie Mars. Richie, what's going on, buddy?
It's going well. How you doing, Ryan?
Good, good. So before we kind of jump into this match, I felt that this would be a good spot to kind of say this is our second Saturday night's main event. A little weird
Mhm,
timing leading right into the Royal Rumble, but
mhm.
interesting time. And then the presentation of a contract signing for a Royal Rumble, and I like the matches that they have presented. Overall, what's the state for this being the second Saturday night's main event? It's with the floor being like AEW's Battle of the Belt and the height
Mhm.
being the first Saturday night's main event. Where do you think Saturday night main event kind of falls in to like the Geistai of shows or whatever, right?
Again, like with any reboot, it's not ever gonna it's gonna rarely capture the magic of the original. You know what I mean? And Saturday Night's main event was more prevalent back in the day, just because again, it was more like this is a pay per view without it being an actual pay per view. So it's like even if you couldn't afford the pay per view, you still feel like you got something. This one
Yeah.
in particular, it's pretty challenging because the next week it's going to be the Royal Rumble. So I think it's just like with all these Saturday Night's main events being quarterly, I believe, and like the news is out there about where the other Saturday Night's main events are going to line up this year, with it being head to head with AEW one weekend, and then another weekend it's going to fall around the same weekend time frame. So a lot of people are saying it's either WWE's doing it or Peacock's doing it. No matter what, they're going to try to make this a big deal because again, it's them on NBC, and they haven't been like in that kind of partnership since the first reboot of Saturday Night's main event.
Yeah.
And with those, it kind of seemed like more of a chore than an actual paying attention to. For this in particular, I think this Saturday Night's main event compared to the last one, I think there's a lot more intrigue in there for the simple fact that, you have segments like this. You have Jacob Fatu's first featured singles match as him being kind of like the main character, so to speak. You have Jey Uso versus Gunther, and you just have like a bunch of different kind of things that are gonna come into place. Like you got Braun Breaker and Sheamus, and it's enough to like kind of like whet the appetite for what's coming next, whether it's on the television show or the PLE.
Yeah. Because back in the day they had like Saturday night's main event 2 or 3 weeks
Mhm.
before WrestleMania, before
Yeah.
Royal Rumble. So I like that old school tweak at it here. And also in a football landscape, this is the first
Mhm.
time we haven't had football on a weekend Saturday wise in forever. And all
Right.
the both games landing on Sunday the next day. It's like all right, NBC doesn't really have anything. Let's throw that wrestling on there, see if we can regain the momentum. Having Peacock with the Rumble, it just fits perfectly. So
Mhm.
yeah, very cool. All right, let's talk this match. It's more of a preview for the preview of the match, but
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
interesting. If you see below me, I have that San Antonio Spurs logo. That's where this match is residing from. And when you're in San Antonio, perhaps you want to move some last minute tickets.
Mhm.
You want to have an old school feel on Saturday night's main event. Let's call to the head of NXT Creative, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Been in a plethora of Saturday night's main events back in the day. And let's just insert him here as a moderator for this Kevin Owens, your WWE Winged Eagles champion, versus Cody Rhodes, your WWE champion,
Mhm.
undisputed champion, in a ladder match. Shawn Michaels also no rookie to ladder matches. So,
Mhm.
do you think Shawn has anything more to do than just an advertisement of Pop San Antonio, Pop Saturday Night's main event, or is there anything more for him to kind of add to this scenario?
Well, I think the main tie-in for this to happen at Saturday night's main event specifically is that Shawn Michaels is going to be the one to take the championships from both participants and then kind of like
Yeah.
held them in abeyance until the Rumble, so to speak. And with Kevin Owens having that Winged Eagle Championship, a title that Shawn Michaels knows very, very well, I think there's a lot of history that can be kind of shown there and kind of teased there. And I think like a Kevin Owens putting Shawn Michaels through a table can just add to the heat, because I know being there for the first Saturday night's main event of this reboot, like a lot of people were like again, Kevin Owens is a very popular heel, as
Yeah.
what I like to call them, where it's like fans are going to cheer for him because he's just cool. He's cool, he's funny, everything like that. And I think like, and when they hit, when Kevin hit Cody with the package pile driver, it was like, one, everybody's like, ooh, because no one's seen like the package pile driver since Kevin Owens has been in WWE. So now it's like, I feel like this is the time for Kevin Owens to like get his heat back, so to speak. There's still that question mark of what Nick Aldis meant. Like there was like, forgot the term that he used, but it's just like there's something added into the contract. So I feel like Shawn Michaels is going to be very direct in what contents are in this contract.
Yeah, it was like a condition type of thing that
Yeah.
was that was going to be announced at Saturday Night's main event. So I'm curious what that is as well. That's why I was like, is there anything more to it with him being
Mhm.
there outside of the ladder, Saturday Night's main
Mhm.
event, San Antonio? With the provision, it was provision. There was a provision. Would
Mhm.
that have? I don't think it's Shawn Michaels based. I just think it's a happy coincidence
Mhm.
that let's get that star power in there too. Just hat on a hat, and let's
Mhm.
just add more star power to this. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's what will end up being. Any guess what that provision could be?
Well, the thing is, it's like we're in San Antonio, Shawn Michaels'
Yeah.
hometown, and now these two are competing in a ladder match. The old like two titles are hanging above the ring, where Shawn Michaels is famous for being in one of those ladder matches. So you could tie it in that way. And I think it's kind of smart to have him as that person because in storyline, both Cody and Kevin do appreciate Shawn Michaels, and I'm sure in real life too. But you always have to kind of like turn your head a little bit because I know how Kevin Owens said that his like last three matches with Shawn Michaels and Shawn Michaels always puts him off a little bit. I don't see that being the case here of them teasing anything, but I could see like that being like a satisfactory thing for Kevin Owens to do, like maybe pop a power bomb him through a table, get him his heat, and then we're off to races with Cody and Kevin. Because it could be a case of where it's like the provision of the contract, Cody and Kevin can't like attack each other until the Royal Rumble. So Cody would be helpless trying to like attack Kevin Owens.
All right, so they sign the contract. Yep, we cannot touch, and then he murders Shawn Michaels. Gotcha. That's
Yeah,
good
like
heat.
like
Good heat.
like Cody would sign it first. It's the old Triple H Stone Cold thing,
Mhm.
where it's like they like if Austin attacked Triple H by signing the contract, then he would lose his WrestleMania title shot, and then Triple H would be suspended for a year if he attacked Austin, and then Austin reveals that he didn't sign or Triple H revealed he didn't sign the contract, and then signed it after he beat Austin into a bloody pulp. So it
Gotcha.
could be a very similar thing right here, where it's like Cody signs the contract, Kevin Owens attacks, takes out Cody, and Cody, like, defenseless because he already signed the contract for reals. And then Kevin Owens just attacks Shawn Michaels, and like, again, you're off to the races from there. And then from that point, you go to that ladder match where you could then settle this thing once and for all.
Yeah, regardless, I think it's great use of Shawn Michaels. So that ladder match, right? You,
Mm-hmm.
I love the stipulation of taking both titles and throwing it over. I thought it was a great
Mm-hmm.
use of the Wing Eagle from the
Yeah.
nostalgia callback to the first Saturday Night's main event for Kevin to steal it, to trope
Mm-hmm.
around as the real world champion or whatever, to
Mm-hmm.
play into his delusion, so on and so forth. And for them to blow it off in a ladder match at the Royal Rumble has just been, I don't know, great planning and great execution of all that
Mm-hmm.
too. Kevin might perhaps be another bridesmaid at the Royal Rumble, but regardless,
Yeah.
I think they've done a great job of building that up. And it's really an out too. Cody doesn't have to take a pin. He can steal the title and become the world champion. And for whatever
Yeah.
Cody has at WrestleMania, that might play into it, perhaps getting the belt
Mm-hmm.
off him or not. So overall, I think KO has done a fantastic job of prolonging himself as a newly christened heel and
Mm-hmm.
to feel like an actual threat for Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble, where Cody Rhodes has been on this journey of WWE champion, hasn't really crossed a lot of
It's been very
menacing
safe.
challengers. Like,
It's
yeah,
been a very
it's
safe
been
reign.
safe. It's been a safe reign. He doesn't he's lacked from vulnerability of losing that belt.
Mm-hmm.
And for this, I feel that they've done a good job of kind of giving that to Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested. I still, gun to my head, I'd still go Cody just to play it
Mm-hmm.
safe. But I feel like they've done a great job, especially using this ladder stipulation and getting here, how us getting here,
Mm-hmm.
making it feel vulnerable because I think
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability would do Cody some good.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise, especially once they introduced the second title. I'm like, okay, then a ladder match makes the most sense because I was afraid it might have been like a last man standing match due to
Ugh,
the
no
package pile
thanks.
driver thing.
Yeah.
And like, if you like the last man standing matches, great. It's just like there's just so much time in between. There's so much breathing room because the counts can take on forever, and sometimes they're like Kevin Owens is actually in a last man standing match where a mistake happened, so it's very easy to kind of screw that up. With the ladder match, it's a little bit more safe in terms of you know, more suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
And if I know any Kevin Owens ladder match or hardcore match, he's gonna build some kind of structure and then go through it. So so I don't see that happening here. I see this Saturday night's main event segment being one up for Kevin, and then at the Rumble, then we're going to see the finality of this feud, which is probably, I don't think it's a hot take. This is probably Cody's best feud since being WWE champion.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with the buildup they like of the friendship they had throughout the year prior. So
This doesn't
without
feel like
that,
their third match, and it is. If you think
no,
about it, it
yeah,
doesn't
that's
feel like it.
that,
Ashley
yeah,
Berlin, Saturday night's main event, and then the
yeah,
Rumble.
yeah. The Saturday night's main event thing was more of like a segment more than a match, and that's just kind
Yeah,
of
it was
being there
still
live.
presented
It's
as a
still
match where he lost, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, still a match, and just being in the crowd, like Kevin Owens got the most heat, Cody Rhodes got the most like cheers, of the night, next to Sammy and Chelsea. So again, it's one of those things where it's like these two are they're hot commodities, whether people want to view them or not. They're very hot commodities in the terms of just wrestling in general, and them having two segments dedicated to them for the Saturday night's main events just kind of shows that there's a lot of reliance on them and this story in order to gain fan interest. And I think them having this kind of segment on there is a smart move.
No doubt. It should be good. All right. I feel that I'm pretty anticipating this match at the Royal Rumble, and I feel
Mhm.
that coming out of this segment at Saturday's main event, they will do their job to make me anticipate it even
Mhm.
more. So I suspect Shawn will kill it in this role, even though I don't think it's going to be as important as we think it is. I think it's
Right.
more of just like an advertisement to kind of like a hat on a hat, like we said. And I
Mhm.
just feel that I like your scenario of the non-contract. I think there will be a gimmick or something that kind of makes Kevin get extra heat heading into the Royal Rumble. I don't think you're going to be previewing this one for the Royal Rumble. So if you'd like to give us a winner at the Royal Rumble, who'd you pick right now?
I gotta go Cody. As much as I want like a Kevin Owens championship run, and I think he's more than deserved it and earned it. Kevin Owens is in that spot where Chris Jericho was for a while when he was in WWE, where Shawn Michaels, ironically, was when he was in WWE, Taker, Kane, all those kind of guys, where they're always going to chase the title and they're always there to elevate who's the champion. And that doesn't mean that they can never win the championship. It's just that they're so good at elevating who's champion right now and building that perception on this is the guy that we're going with. That even though I could see that in the future for Kevin Owens, as of right now, it's just Cody's time. I'm sure there's going to be a time where Kevin Owens drops it, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Owens goes through that transfer portal, goes to Raw, and then Randy follows suit. And then we conclude that feud at WrestleMania potentially.
Interesting. Yeah, I hope that Kevin is able to keep up the steam coming out of this, as I suspect Cody to win. But I'm
Mhm,
not. I'm not against them shocking me at the Royal Rumble.
mhm.
And Kev, because there's an out. Cody doesn't have to get pinned. He can steal the title, right? So
Yeah,
there's an out.
and you
You can
yeah.
see the scenario.
Yeah, you could also do the whatchamacallit, the two title drop down thing, you know what I mean? Where it's like one person grabs one, the other person grabs the other, and then they rip it down.
Ugh, and then we have to have another match. Then we
Yeah,
have to have another match. But they've done a good
but
job. I
yeah,
think there's definitely more teeth there. They could
yeah, I
definitely
don't
more
think
make it more
yeah,
into it.
I don't think
Yeah,
they're gonna do that for the simple fact that Chambers in Toronto,
yeah.
or like it's in Toronto. Kevin's gonna get cheered
That's
wildly
his home
there.
base,
So
pretty much, right? Yeah.
yeah, so it's like I don't see that happening unless they're building that story with Cody and Cena, which is a very real possibility. So again, we'll see what happens with that. But my pick for a winner for the Royal Rumble would be Cody. But tonight at Saturday night's main event, Kevin Owens is going to get one over on Cody, and most importantly, Shawn Michaels.
Excellent. All right. Well, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, Richie.
No problem.